deductible, you will have a co-insurance. Does everybody understand that? Deductible has to be met before the co-insurance will kick in their responsible part. Does everybody understand that? So looking at this, deductible is $105. Now, assumingly, if you call the insurance as an insurance verifier to verify, they're going to say the person has maybe a $500 and they only met $105 towards their $500 deductible. That's what that means. Does everybody understand that? Okay. Now, co-insurance. Okay, doesn't have a co-insurance, doesn't state a copay. The disallow amount is the adjustment. So the adjustment and disallow is the same thing. Please write that. Adjustment and disallow are the same thing, just different terminologies, but they mean the same thing. How much is the disallow amount? $79.52. Okay. Now, what's that S word next to disallow? What is that word? Okay. All right. I can hardly see that. Okay. And payment is $100. Now, why is payment, I'm sorry, not $100. The payment is $0. The payment is $0. Now, look at this. Circle the allowed $106.02. Circle that. Circle the disallowed amount, $79.52. We're working on this example sheet that we printed off the internet, and so that's what we're reading from. It's kind of vague in reading, but that's what we're working with right now, by example. How much is $106.02 plus $79.52?
What is that?
How much is 105.02 plus 79.52? 185.54. Does everybody understand? So now you back at the first beginning of how this was being charged. Okay. And so now we have a deductible of $105.02. Okay. Now that means the patient will have to pay for full services. Okay. That means that the patient will have to pay all of the 185.54 towards the doctor's office. Please write that down. 185.54 is paid towards the doctor because the doctor is not getting any type of reimbursement. The only thing that's being applied from the 185.54 is the $105.02. That's really benefiting the patient, not the doctor. Does everybody understand that? What's your question, Brenda? Okay, so let's look at it for example. If the patient had met their $500 deductible, look at the deductible amount, Brenda, and the patient had met it, then the deductible would say $0. Okay, then the allowed amount would still be the same. The co-insurance would say 20%. Do you see that? Okay, so it would be 20% of the allowed amount. What is 20% of $106? Okay, $21.20. Okay, now the disallowed amount is the adjustment. So you're basing the co-insurance is based on the allowed amount, not the charged amount. Does everybody understand that? Because remember what I said, the allowed amount is the actual contracted amount that the doctor and the insurance company has said, I agree to do business with you. I agree to accept this type of money from you. Now, yeah, that's a low amount of money. Yeah, it's a low amount of money. But the doctor will get 20%. I'm sorry, 20% will be paid by the patient. What is that 20% minus that $106.02? What is that 80%? Okay, the insurance company would pay $84.81. Does everybody understand? Do I need to repeat it? Let me repeat it. Now, in a different scenario, follow my imagination. Follow my imagination. Put under that in pencil underneath the next line of that, just for example. The allowed amount it stays at $106.02. If the deductible had been met, write $0 underneath the deductible because it's going to tell you $0.
So if the deductible has an amount, it means that it was not met.
Right. That means that $105 was applied toward that deductible. Every time it gets applied, it grows until it goes zero. It's kind of backwards. Okay, it's not going to say in plain literature $105 out of 500. You got to call. That's your job as an insurance verifier. You got to call, and the insurance company is going to say the patient, for example, has a $500 deductible. Once this all has been processed, then you might call back. What is this $105.02? They're going to say, oh, that went towards the patient's deductible. Instead of us paying you out of that 80% out of that 105, we're going to apply that toward a deductible. So every time the patient comes back and see the doctor for this same procedure code, that $105 is going to keep adding up to it meets $500. Then it's going to say zero on the deductible. Do you understand? Once it says zero, then the doctor will start getting paid. Is that clear? Okay, so now look at this. $105.02. Right under there, $0. Right under there, the co-insurance. What's the patient's co-insurance? 20, you said 20 some odd dollars and some odd cents?
Yeah. 2021.
Huh?
2120.
2120. Okay, so let me show. Let me show you, Vanessa. Everybody got Ms. Garcia's email? Okay, can I erase this so I can use some part of the board?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, listen. $185.54. This is going to be extraordinary example. Okay, now you have the allowed amount as 106.02. You have the deductible as 105.02. I don't know, 105 is that 106?
Yeah, I might go. No, it's a 5.
It's a 5? Okay. You have the disallowed as 79.52. And you have the co-insurance. Where's the co-insurance? Co-insurance is somewhere in the middle. So right there. Okay, so co-insurance is 0. Copay, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now the disallowed is $79.52. Okay, now on this paper, the doctor did not get paid. Why? Because this went towards the deductible. This went towards the deductible. Okay? This is the contracted amount. All right. Now, that's scenario number one that you see on paper.
Maybe the 106.
It should be the 106. That's what I was thinking. Instead of 105, but it looked like a 5 on here to me. So we'll make it 106, so that way it makes more sense. Okay.
Is this time again? It's just a 6 is smaller.
Okay. Okay. Okay, now, this remains the same. This is the initial charge amount. The 106.02 is the allowed amount. This is the par, non-par amount agreement. Okay? Now, let's suppose that this was met. Deductible met. It's going to say $0 if it was met. If this person had a $500 deductible, it was met. It is $0. Okay? Now, the co-insurance, they're talking about 20%. This is the patient responsibility. What is the co-insurance?
$21.20.
$21.20. Now, you're probably asking, well, Ms. Harper, how do they know that the patient paid $21.20? It's going to be that in the calculations. But remember, in the CMS 1500 form, remember that CMS 1500 form? And at the bottom, it says total. And it says, on the side of it, it says paid amount. It has something about that about paid amount.
Mm-hmm.
Are y'all getting this? Okay. That's where you put the $21.20. Or whatever the total amount is of that 20%. Does everybody understand that? And you send that in, especially if the patient has paid that. Now, that leaves 80%. The 80% is going to come from this. What is 80%?
$84.81.
84.81, right? That's going to go over here to the doctor. He's going to get paid $84.81. Does everybody understand that? He's going to get paid $84.81. Now, on this particular patient, what are you going to do with $84.81? What are you going to do with that? When you get the check in, you're going to get this EOB. Let's suppose this is paper, because we're doing electronic now. But let's suppose this is paper. On the bottom of this paper is going to be a perforated cutout check. And it's going to have the patient's name. Is the patient name on here? Insured name, example member. Okay, all right, that's fine. Okay, so John Doe. So you're going to go on John Doe's patient account number, and you're going to apply it as accounts receivable in the payment section. In the payment section of his electronic medical records, of the medical bill software. Does everybody understand that? So once you apply the 84.81, now, let's suppose in this scenario number 2, he's already paid $21.20. He has $84.81 left to pay. All this came from $106.02. What happens to the $79.52? $79.52 is the disallowed. The disallowed can either A, be written off, and you give so many opportunities. This is done by agent report. And what did I say about the agent report? How many days you send a bill? 30, 60, 90, 120, all the way to 6 months. And you have an opportunity to either sell that account, because it's on that paper where you have every right to do that as a provider, as a practice manager, to sell that to a collections agency, or just write it off at the end of the tax year when you get ready to turn your physician's tax information in. Or you collect. You either write this off or either you collect it. That's what I meant. That's what I was trying to explain. Does everybody understand that? That's at the discretion of the practice manager. But normally they will bill the patient for the difference. Now the patient might get upset and say, I just paid y'all $21.20. Well, God, I paid premiums $500 a month. Then I pay out that. Then I pay out parking. And I still got to pay some money, residuals? Yes, sir. Why? Why I got to pay that? Because we need to get all our money that we was charging.
Where do we get that disallowed amount from?
A disallowed amount, remember the insurance companies say, I'm only going to pay you $106.02. When you subtract this from this, that gives you $79.52. Does it make sense? This gonna always be with VA Premier for that procedure code 99214 as a payout of $106.02. If you use that procedure code 99214. Does that make sense? Okay. So now then this is what you apply. If the patient didn't pay, like I'm saying, going back to example 1, like the way it is on this EOB, then that patient has to pay all of it at the time of service. Does everybody understand? Now, some offices at their discretion, they'll say, well, you have a $500 deductible and we'll go ahead and just take 20% and they'll take the hit for everything else. But somewhere at the end, that patient minus that $21.20 gonna have to pay $21.20 minus this. So either they're gonna pay on the tail end or they're gonna pay it up front. Am I making sense? Am I making sense, Victor? What's your question? You don't have a question, baby? All right, darling. Alan, do you have a question? What did I say, Alan? Repeat what I said, Alan. Come on out to the middle. You hide behind the monitor. I can't see your face. Now, repeat what I said, Alan. This is very important.
You said that while they still being charged more money after paying parking and everything, you said that they need to pay off what you guys have paid for them.
Right. So if somebody come in upset and you've done the billing and you say, sir or ma'am, for the service that we did for you that day, August the 19th, whatever that says on there, a doctor saw you for 30 minutes. The procedure code for that service is 99214. They're not going to understand what procedure codes are. But you're going to have to explain what a procedure code is. So let me ask you that question. What a procedure code?
It's the code what has been done to you for that day.
By
the doctor?
By the doctor or the nurse practitioner or whoever the provider is for that day of service. Very good. Okay. Now, they're going to say, okay, well, if they did that, then why am I being charged $185.54?
Oh, you said asking me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's
why?
Because you get all the money.
No, because this is what Medicare charge or pays for the doctors to see you. This is the amount that Medicare comes up with for doctors to see you. We have to charge you that amount. Do you understand? Yes. I want you to be able to communicate. It's very important. Because at some point, this is going to catch you by surprise. This is going to catch all y'all by surprise. And y'all going to have to know how to communicate with these patients, especially if they're coming in irate. You're going to have to hold your composure and talk to them. Huh? You know what irate mean, don't you?
Yeah,
You've dealt with irate people before, haven't you? You haven't seen my side, but I don't want to show that to you. But you know what I mean, don't you?
As an example.
Yeah. No.
It's like, yeah, no.
No. All right, now you're going to say, Mr. Johnson is a participating provider of your insurance, ma'am. And because of that, VA Premier has decided that they're going to pay Dr. Johnson $106 at that rate. However, your deductible was not met. So therefore, ma'am, because your deductible is not met, your insurance is not going to pay anything to us. So we have to collect all of what's due at the time of service until your deductible has been met. It's kind of like once the deductible has been met, then it activates the co-insurance.
basically, what I'm understanding is that they won't cover their half until you pay what you owe.
That's right.
So how do they know if you're having to pay out of pocket? How would the insurance know if you even met your deductible?
Oh, the insurance have what they call accumulations. They have calculations inside their software that will tell them every time they receive a bill for you, the patient, is going to accumulate to say
Okay,
that.
so well, I'm like, for example, like my procedure.
Mhm,
If my deductible say is what 7,000,
mhm,
my procedure was what 600,
mhm,
and my physician was another 900.
mhm, mhm.
So
Okay, so your procedure. Okay, so your deductible is 7,000. Your procedure is
6,000,
6,000,
and the physician was 900.
and the physician was 900. Okay, all right. And so, did you pay a deductible? Did you pay all, or how much did you pay?
Well, I couldn't pay the 6,000, so I had to pay half.
And pay half. So you paid 3,000.
No, 15.
You-
Maybe less.
Okay, so you paid a quarter. Okay, so you paid $1,500. Okay, so that $1,500 went towards your $7,000 deductible.
Okay, so it's whatever you pay.
It's whatever you pay. It went towards your deductible, but the doctor still may not get a bill. If they get a bill, it's going to be, I'm sorry, the doctor's still not going to get paid, but you'll get a bill from the doctor's office because the insurance company is going to say, okay, you're going to acknowledge.
I paid the doctor.
You pay the doctor $900 for his professional services. That's on the CMS 1500. That's going to be applied toward the deductible too. Then you pay the $1,500 for the surgery for the hospital. That's applied on the UB04. Okay, but when the UB04 goes in for a bill, the CMS 1500 goes in for a bill. They're going to acknowledge that you paid $900 at the doctor's office, $1,500 at the hospital to have this done. $1,500 plus $900 is what? $2,400. That's going to be applied towards your $7,000 deductible.
Okay, I get it. So they have to actually pay in order for you to even move the deductible number.
Right.
Oh.
So what ends up happening is this is your deductible pot. This is your money pot. Okay. This right here is $900 professional services on the CMS 1500 form. This right here, you said you pay $1,500 for the hospital surgery. Okay, that's on the UB04. Okay. Once these go in, this and this is going to be applied towards that. So $7,000 minus $2,400 is $4,600. Okay, now what the insurance company may do towards this is meet that on their EOB is on the same EOB. They're gonna say, okay, $1,500 was applied to this. How much was your surgery? $6,000 for the surgery. $6,000 times 20%. What is that? $1,200. Okay, $1,200. Now, let's suppose, by example, that the hospital is going to pay $4,000 out of the 6,000. Okay, now they're going to pay that to the doctor. So this right here, 80%. What is this? Not even that. 20% don't come from that. 20% comes from the contracted amount. Contracted amount, the par amount is $4,000. Sorry. What is 20% of $4,000?
$800.
$800 is 20%. What is 80%? $3,200 is 80%. Okay, this is going to hold up at the insurance company until your deductible has been met. You have $4,600 for your insurance to be met, and for your deductible to be met before it actually pays out. Okay, now they're going to bill you, they're going to kick back and they're going to say, okay, supposedly the patient is going to get billed for this. We still didn't pay the doctor anything because $1,500 and $900 went towards her deductible. Do you understand? But what's going to happen on that EOB is going to say the patient responsibility 20%. That means you're going to get billed for that. It may not say it on there necessarily, but if you're a biller and you know what you're doing, you're going to get billed for that, and you're going to get billed for this until that is met. Does it make sense? So don't let it shock you. Don't let it surprise you. Okay? And a lot of times you can have this met, say, what is this? May? Some other things, God forbid, complicate, God forbid, come August, you may have this met, but that still doesn't retro pay this. You still have to pay that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So say, for instance, you had your surgery in May and you still got $4,600 left. And God forbid something happened to you in June, something happened to you in July, something happened to you in August. Bam, your deductible has been met. All 7,000 of it. Now the insurance is going to pay the hospital or whomever 80%. And you're probably saying, well, since they're now going to pay 80%, can I resend this bill for them to pay that? You understand? And you just pay as you can, sweetie. You just pay as much as you can when you can. I know. I'm a 6.5-year breast cancer survivor. Chemo cost me $100,000. I know what I'm talking about. Okay? Does everybody understand how they work? So now you have to ask. That's why they ask for so much like they did up front. I feel like in their mind, especially with healthcare administrators at hospitals, your COOs, your CFOs, all they see is bottom line business. All they see are numbers. You have some physicians who are about numbers too, but then you have most of them are about patient care. They can give a flip about numbers. I want to take care of the patient. But it's about that bottom line, that dollar. So in their mind, it was best they got something out of you than nothing. They'll get something out of you eventually, but it may take a while. You understand what I'm saying, sweetheart?
Yeah.
So you just pay what you can when you can. Don't drive yourself crazy. Don't worry yourself. And it's not supposed to be on your credit, but Sometimes they try to put that on your credit, but it's not supposed to be on your credit. Okay. All right. So now y'all know how to do what? Post payments. Let's go back to second scenario here. Second scenario. If this $185.54, non-par provider is, how did that come out to be? Why is it 10602, Brenda?
Because that's what the agreement is between the Medicare. That's what they pay us.
For pay the doctor because they made a what? An agreement. They have contract. That's the word I'm looking for, girlfriend. They have a contract. Do y'all understand that? Okay. So now that contract says every time you bill for 99214, we're gonna pay you. We're gonna calculate from this amount, not this amount. This amount. Does everybody understand that? Now, if it was $0, if the patient had met their deductible, it's gonna say $0. Patient co-insurance, remember, even on the UB04, it's gonna say what the patient paid at the hospital at the time of admission, what the patient paid, or at the time of check-in. Bless your heart. You're not feeling good, you wanna go home, honey? You can.
Okay. If anything, I'll run through.
You sure? Huh? Oh, it's a long job, yeah. You sure you done? Don't do it. If you got to, baby, go for it.
No.
Okay. All right. All right, moving right along. Now, let's look at this. Edna. Edna is explanation of benefits for what type of commercial? Oh, never mind.
Commercial.
I already said it. All right. Now, look at this. Ellen Smith is the doctor. John Doe is the patient. Patient number. Patient number is usually the medical record number. That's at the bottom of the CMS 1500 form where it says patient number, that's patient's medical record number. Patient account, patient, blah, blah, blah. Okay, look at line 1, January 8, 2005. Place of service is 11. What does 11 mean? What place did it happen at?
Office.
At the doctor's office. Remember, I gave everybody a list of place of service codes. Does anybody remember that? It should be a copy in y'all's CPT books. Does everybody remember that? I gave everybody type of service codes. Does everybody remember those type of service codes list? Alan, do you have it? I'll give it to you again, Alan. You don't have it, baby. It's not even nowhere in this stick you got. Bless your heart, baby. All right, now look at this. 99213. See the 0 zeros right by it? Those means that means that modifiers could have been placed next to it, but they're not. So they have to acknowledge it was something in their software system. Does everybody understand that? Okay. Now, again, modifiers only appear for procedure codes. They do not appear for diagnosis codes. What did Ms. Harper say? Start over, Brenda. Okay. Modifiers are for procedure codes only. Modifiers are for procedure codes only. They help describe why and what took place for that procedure. Never ever else. Does everybody understand? procedure code 992. Everybody, 100 terminology, or the allowed amount. Does everybody see that? The copay is how much? Coinsurance dollars is coinsurance dollars, and the payable amount to the physician is okay. So if we add 27 plus 63, what does that give us? Does it give us $90? Okay, give us $90. Do you see how they base the copay out of the allowed? I said allowed amount is the what type of rate? Allowed amount, or what was the other one called?
Disallowed.
Disallowed. Allowed amount or disallowed means what?
Contract amounts that are given by an insurance company.
It looked like a, and you're gonna go to the end. What was the payment? Instead of zero, you're gonna put $87. Does everybody see that? Now, for 8251, non-payable. Let's see, why is it non-payable? Okay, so let's look at that. See remarks. Look at line 3. It says $90 is non-payable. Does everybody see that? On the third line, that's number 28. And do you see number 29? It says see remarks. See remark number 1. Look at number 36. Edit messages. Edit messages is going to tell you why the claim was or was not paid. It wasn't paid because we have paid the maximum allowed by your plan of benefits for this service. The balance is member's responsibility. Okay, so that means the member is going to get billed for $90, $9.57, look like that, or 67 cents, and $27. So how much are we billing the patient? 126.67. And how much physician got paid? 150. So when y'all get ready to go in and post payments, you're gonna post these payments, and it should equal up everything the same way. You're not gonna have to go in and do any calculations yourself. The calculations is gonna already be done for you. The software is just that smart. Does everybody understand that?
So what calculations? Just
calculations like this, or somewhat like this, you're gonna have to, sometimes figure out, which one is what. But this is already done for you. So we're basically, what I've done, I basically have redone what you would have done on this one. I'm just not clear on all the writing on here. But it's a good one. So the calculations you're going to do, let me show you. The calculations you're going to always be engaged with is the allowed amount, circle that. And the patient responsibility. Those are some of your examples. Now, going back to this remittance advice, look at this remittance advice, going back to that. Circle the allowed amount. You're going to always calculate the allowed amount. And you're going to always calculate the disallowed amount. So you're going to subtract that from that from one another. And that's going to give you 185.54. But the 79.52 is the disallowed amount that would have been paid. But it's not. We could do this one. Let's do the one I gave y'all on the handout. Let's do that. Okay. The Medicare bill amount. Look at the first one. It says $4,250. Does everybody see that? Okay, the Medicare allowed amount is $3,770. Does everybody understand that? Again, where did the allowed amount come from? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very good. Oh, my heck, coming down. Girl. Gotta take that weave down.